Hi everyone, Mr. Walker here to help you with your 8.30 significant figures topic. Now, you should have done um, two lessons on this already, um, and now I'm going to carry you through lesson 3 and 4. The first thing we need to do is do and complete our retrieval practice. As you are aware, this takes us normally between maybe 5 to 10 minutes, depending on how well we know the skills. So give yourself maximum time if you need it, and if you can do it within less than that, then fantastic. So I suggest to give yourself a timer, make it realistic, as I would put one up on the board for any group, and see what time you get when you complete it. It is important, obviously, that you get as much done as you can. So don't worry if you don't complete it all within the time. This is why we do the retrieval practice, to make sure that we can start improving certain math skills, and it's okay to get it wrong, because then we can look to put it right. So then here it is. Answer A to F as best as you can, and best of luck. I hope you get 6 out of 6. We want to be aiming to get more than 4, um, hopefully 5. Aiming for 80% is always going to be a good score. Okay, so here are the answers to the 6 questions. Firstly, we've got a nice start with the squaring of numbers and the cube root of a number. We should be able to learn these off the top of our heads at some point. Then at B, we've got some prime numbers. So this testing our range between 35 to 50. And knowing the first 10 prime numbers from 2 will always help you identify those higher up in the number line. C, as you can see, we have used the bus stop method, the most popular method when doing division for most people. D, we have our factor tree to help us find our product of prime factors. And in the bottom left corner here, we have the index form 2 to the power of 5 times 5. 2 to the power of 5 meaning there's 5 2's in this factor tree. So there's 5 prime number 2's times in that 5. If we was to find the lowest common multiple, here we would have to times all these prime numbers together. And for that we would need another number, another value, and another factor tree. So just some further insight there. E, we have now a Venn diagram, and we've been asked to shade a particular area or specific area. And on this occasion, we should have shaded the section to the right for the factors of the B only. So this might have been one of our lowest common multiple values here, and then one on this side. And when you've done your factor trees, you would input your numbers here for the one number, for the other number, and if they shared the same common multiple, they would go in the middle for both numbers. And F, as we can see, we've had to work out the addition of particular fractions. We have to make the denominator, which is the bottom number, let's remember, the same. So we must use 4 and 5 and find which the common multiple is. Then the nearest one to 4 and 5 is 20. So as you can see, we've converted the 4 to 20 by timesing by 5. What we do to the bottom, we must do to the top. And then the same again with the fraction on the right, this time the denominator being 5, and then we must times by 4 here to get to 20, and then the same again to the top, and that equals 21 over 20. And we always must convert our top heavy fractions into mixed fractions to end with a more accurate answer. In this case, 1 whole one and 1 of the 20ths left. Well done if you got 6 out of 6 or more than 4. as we aimed for. Okay, so on to our lesson content quickly. So now we are up to number 3. So we will be rounding decimals to the nearest significant figure, okay, in this lesson today. So that will be our focus for this hour. For whatever reason, you might have your workbook with you from school. If you don't, use this as good practice as you normally would in class. You've completed your knowledge retrieval. Now it's time to write down the lesson objective, making sure that we use correct grammar and making sure that it is also underlined. So keep these good habits, because I think it's vitally important for when you do return to school that you are carrying out the things you would do on a day-to-day basis. And these things should start to happen subconsciously, which is great. Success criteria. So today we want to show what it means to round to a significant figure. This is something that you already would have done in your first 2 sessions, but we're still using that. We are understanding the difference between significant figure values. So it might be for 1 significant figure, can we round to 2 and then 3? Again, you've already started done that. Now we're pushing into more, you are flying if you can apply different significant figures that can be completed securely, and our focus is with decimals. So we'll be looking at decimals. So this is the area today that we want to now to make a step forward and grow our knowledge with decimals. And we may be maybe touching on some worded problems. We'll have to see. Okay, so let the fun begin. Here we have the first I do. The first thing I need to think about, and which you've already been doing, is, well, it's asking me for 1 significant figure. So I know that I need to be looking at this value here. What is this going to be? Okay. However, it isn't determined solely on its own, because we need to look at the next value, the second 5, which tells us that this number 5 is going to take us up towards 6, and 6 would be our significant 1 place figure. So the answer would be 6, as that 5 wants us to round up to the whole number here. So it's a whole number on this occasion, a nice easy start. Now it's your turn. On the we do, writing down with good practice again, in your book if you have it with you, or with worksheets, or whatever you're doing your work on at home, as you would in class, make sure you write the we do, underline it, and make sure that you write a good example for yourself to round 5.9 to 1 significant figure. The answer would be, again, 6, because 9 is closer to the 6 than it would be to the 5 as a whole number. So it is 6. Also wrote them in decimal format, 6.0, but we can write it as a whole number. Also, feel free to use the I do and any other I do's that I complete as a template or examples that you can write down correctly in your book to refer to on the, as I say, the sheets you're working on. Okay, so let's have a look at the next I do. Round 50.01. So here we have more place values. Okay, we've got our 50 whole number, we've got our tenths, and we've got 100th here. So it's still asking me for 1 significant figure. So I'm still concentrating on that first digit, which is that 5. Okay, but again, I need to be looking down the line to determine how it's going to help me round up or it's going to help me round down. On this occasion, because it's only 100th and it's to 1 significant figure, we're going to round down, and the value would be the whole number 50. Again, feel free to write that as an example. Okay, now it's your turn. So we've got 379.5. And remember, it's to one significant figure. What do you think the answer will be? So if you put 400, well done. For one significant figure, focusing on here that gives us 300, we want to know whether it's going to be 300 or 400 here. Looking at the 79 that follows, well, we know that's more than 350, so we know that we're going to have to round up to the closest significant figure of 400 for this one significant figure place. Okay, this time it's asking us for two significant figures. So here I would look at this 15.5. I know that I'm looking for this value here, okay, this value 5. So I've got my tens and then I've got my digits, my singles, my ones, okay. So what I want to do here is, again, I want to look at the next column, this tenths column, and this 5 tells me that it's going to round up. But this time, it's like I said, to two significant figures. So on this occasion, the answer is going to be 16. Like on the last slide, if it was to one significant figure, it would have been 20. Okay, so we do. Your turn. Compose yourself and give it a go. So, relatively easy one to go at again. We can see we've got 15.9. We know that this 9 is going to take us upwards towards the next whole number, because it's two significant figures. Again, it would be the answer of 16. Let's jump down to the next I do. Rounding 19.95. So this time I've got tenths and hundredths, and it's still to two significant figures, so I'm focusing on this 9. I know again I must look at the next two digits or digit. This is going to take me upwards because it's higher than 19.50, and that is going to take us to 20 on this occasion, to two significant places, figure places. We do. Now we have 909.95. Which one is the second significant figure on this occasion? If you knew it was here under the 0, well done. So again, let's look down the line here. We have a 9 in the ones, a 9 in the tenths, and a 5 in the hundredths. We know that this 9 here is the only thing we're going to need here, and this is going to take us upwards towards the next whole number, which is going to be 910, to two significant figure places. Okay guys, on to the next I do. 515.05. Let's go to now three significant figures. So we move to that, 5 there. We need to think about what's coming after it. We can see 500ths. Okay, so we know that 5 would take us up to 0.1 tenth. However, this value isn't large enough to take us up to 516, because we'd have to be at 0.5 5 tenths. So it would mean that we would round back down and we would stay at 515 for this one. The we do 145. So again, we're looking at a number 5 in the third significant figure. We don't worry about the 1 and the 4. to determine which way we round, we look at the next couple of numbers, and we can see again that there's it's in the hundredths column where we have the next value, which is 3. So again, it's not high enough to get to 0.5 tenths, so it means we're going to come back down, and that would mean it would stay again at 0.145. Now we're jumping back to one significant figure. This time though, we have no value in our ones, and we're straight into just only negatives. So we're having to look at this 7 as our first significant figure, because there's nothing being represented here. As we know, our ruling for rounding, well, this 3 is lower than 5, which means we're going to come and round down here. So that means it's going to stay at 0.7 on this one significant figure. Okay, so this time we have, again, on your redo, we have 0.88. So see how you go with this one. Obviously pause the video, have a go, and then I'll do the answer. So we have 8 tenths and 8 hundredths. Again, we have nothing in the ones, which means we have to jump here for our first significant figure. This 8 is higher than 5, so that means it's going to be rounding up, which means that we're going to have 9 tenths, 0.9 to one significant figure here. So well done after pausing, and if you got that correct. Okay, some more. So my turn, round 0.709 to one significant figure. Again, nothing represented in the ones column, so we're looking at the 7. Okay, we can see there's nothing in the hundredths column. So straight away we know that we're probably going to be rounding back down with the thousands column here. And we're going to stay at 0.7 to one significant figure. Okay, the redo, pause the video, have a go at this, and then when you're ready, play again and we'll have a look at the answer. So the redo, 0.808 to one significant figure. So we're looking at the 8. Again, we have a 0 in the middle. We know that 8 thousandths here, if we're going to have to round back down, because if we round up, we would have to have 5 hundredths for it to take us to 0.9. However, we're nowhere near that value, so we would have to round back down. One significant figure would be 0.8. Okay, that I do. Round 0.879 to two significant figures. So back to 2. We haven't done many of these. So now we're jumping from, well, there's nothing in the ones. We're not looking at the 8 because that's one significant figure, which we've done a lot of. So now we're looking at this 7. Okay. So we don't have to worry about this bit just here now. The ones and the tenths. We do need to look at the thousands column though. And we do know that 9 is bigger than 5, so that means it's going to help us round up here for our two significant figure on the 7, which means it's going to take us to 0.8 tenths and 8 hundredths, so 88 hundredths. Okay, so that 9 is rounded up to 88 hundredths to two significant figures. Pause the video, have a go at the redo. Okay, so two significant figures. So we have nothing represented here, nothing represented here, and then we have a 3 in the hundredths column and a 5 in the thousandths and a 9 in the 10 thousandths. So to help us decide, okay, the second significant figure, which is going to be the 5 on this occasion. So don't worry about the 3. We look at the 9. We know that 9 is going to round up to take us to 60. Okay, and 3 is going to remain the same because we're looking for this. That would be the first significant figure, but we're looking for the second at 5. Okay, so the answer here would be 0.0360. Okay, so well done if you got that one correct. A few more to do before we get to our questions, so we're really making sure that we understand and we get this right. Back to one significant figure. Remember this rule, and we're doing lots of practice with a couple of these now recently. These zeros, we're going to skip them because it's not representing anything. We're going straight to this one in the hundredths. So that's going to be our one significant figure. We're looking at the next column and we can see 1/1000th. Okay, so we know that we need to get to 5/1000ths for it to go up. Okay, but we're going to have to come back down here because it's not large enough, and we're going to end up with 0.01, which is, yep, 0.100. The we do, pause the video and have a go. Okay, you should know what to do. One significant figure, yes, it is 2 that we're looking at. We need to look ahead to the thousandth column. Okay, we've got 28, so we've got 28 tens of thousands here. Is it large enough to take it up to 0.03? No, it's not. So this 28, this 2 is going to bring it back down, and at one significant figure will remain at 0.02. That was a big 2. Okay. This time, 2 significant figures. Brilliant. So what I'm going to do is I can see nothing here. That's one significant figure. There's 9 is in the first 9 is the 2 significant figures. So don't worry about the 1. Looking ahead, I can see, okay, 99. So 9,000th, 9 tens of thousands. Okay, I know this is going to round up, and it's to this 9 here, the first 9. So it's only going to take me to 0.20, so 20 hundredths. Have a go at the we do, see how you get on. Make sure we're doing these properly, pausing the videos and going from there. Okay, you know what to do. 2 significant figures. Looking at the 7, that's the first significant figure. Okay, second significant figure. Because we have got a number here, this 0 is our significant figure, second significant figure. So we have to look ahead and we go, okay, there's a 6 in the thousands and there's a 2 in the 10,000ths column. Is this going to take us to 71 hundredths? Or 71 thousandths, or is this going to keep us at 70 thousandths? Well, we know that 6 is higher than 5, so that's going to take us rounding up. So that's going to leave us with 0.071 thousandths. Well done if you got that right. Okay, I think we're on our last couple here. So I do 3 significant figures. So missing the 0, we've got 1, 2, 3. So the third one is the 1. We see there's a 9, so we know that's going to round up. So this is going to be 0.802. Yep, 2. Because that 9's took it up to 2 thousandths. Okay, onto the we do. Have a go. Jump into 1, 2, 3. So you should have started on the 4. 5 is going to take us up. So this is going to be 0 0.655. I think this is the last couple. Okay, 3 again. 1, 2. No, 1, 2, 3. Take us to that 0. 7's going to round us up. So we're going to have 0.0181. And this we do. Have a go. Make sure you pause it. Get the practice in. It'll be worth it. Okay. 1, 2, 3. 9 will round us up. 0.960 or 0.96. Okay. So you don't have to add the zeros because we know it's 96 hundredths that we've got up to there. There is 2 more, no way. So 3, 1, 2, 3, 99 again. I know this is going up because it's above 50. So 50 tens of thousandths. And I know that I'm going to keep my 1 the same 9. That'll take us to 0.91. So 191 thousandths. Have a go that we do. 1, 2, 3, 99, 0.951. Well done if you got it right. Okay, we're here. So you want to be spending roughly on question 1, rounding to 1 significant figure. Okay, make sure that you're writing from your letters out properly on your sheet or on your book if you've got it, like I keep saying. Good practice as if you was in the classroom. Okay, so you've got a variation of numbers here. You've got some whole numbers with and then the decimal following, and then we've got some with the zeros, and where we've just been practicing a lot of them then, so make sure you jump. So for here it would be 8 and then 8, using numbers after to make sure you round to that 1 significant place. So it would be the tens column on I, it would be the tens column on J. But then obviously when we get further down and there's more zeros, we would move to that first good value of 8, and that would be your first significant figure. And again, the numbers after, the same principle. You want to spend about maybe 30 seconds on each. Okay, so 5's going to take you 150 seconds. So what's that in minutes? And then again on the next 2 rows. So you're looking at around about, if you can get that done in 10 minutes, that'd be great. And then same again for question 2. You're looking at around about 10 minutes for 2 significant figures. Good luck with those. Make sure you give them a good shot and see if you can get full marks. Again, you want to be getting 80%. Okay. So, having done it, there's your answers. Get your green pen. Tick away. Keep them good habits. Pause the video to do this before moving on. Okay, round into 3 significant figures, so your final set. So push yourself, give yourself 10 minutes, maybe 12. Okay, but if you're really good at this, again 10 minutes. Just make sure you've got some really big values here at the bottom. Make sure you're giving yourself that time. Don't rush it. Make sure you look at the numbers carefully, because after doing quite a few, it can start to trick you on your mind a little bit. So make sure you're looking at them properly. And then when you've done, skip to the answers and pause it. Alright, so pause this, have a look, take off with your green pen. Okay, so we're back to our initial slide. So what have we taken from today? Well, we wanted to be able to round decimals to the nearest significant figure, and I hope you've all been able to improve that. We said that we'd already been looking at in previous lessons about knowing how to round significant figures with whole numbers, and then understanding the difference between 1, 2, and 3 significant figures and how we work that out. And then we've been looking at wanting to be secure with the decimals now, so applying different significant values and seeing if we complete them. So reflect. So what did you find easy today, or in this session with the decimals? Was it 1 significant place? Okay, what did you find tricky? Was that 3, or was it the other way around? So just a couple of minutes self-reflect and ask these questions to yourself, and get your pen and write down number 1, 2, and 3 and answer them. Answer them properly with a couple of sentences, and just short sentences, just so you can say, right, and even better if I need to work on my 3 significant figures for decimals, but I'm okay with whole numbers. And then you need to say how you would improve. So how would you improve on that? What is it you need to do? Is it larger numbers? How are we going to do that? And what questions can you ask the teacher when you have time to help you work with that? And being able to explain yourself and come up with that answer is going to be really, really good for your evidence of rounding the knowledge and going on to solving problems. This top award slide is here. Knowing if you use books and we see books, we might be able to give some achievement points out for amazing work. Okay, not you knowing yourself that you've done it properly and everything. But this is something that needs to be looked into. Being able to give top awards, knowing that people are completing the work, and it's something that will be discussed, and hopefully we can get some news to you on that, so we can keep adding points for those who are working really hard. So we'll provide an update on that once we know. Okay, thank you for this session, and we've just gone over half an hour in terms of time, and you guys will be working really hard, another half an hour in between, so it's around about your hour lesson. So that's great timings, and yeah, enjoy. See ya.